Pretoria, South Africa. The early 1980s. A child is thrown down a flight of stairs. His classmates keep hitting him after he lands. He is taken to hospital. He cannot breathe through his nose properly for the rest of his life. When he comes home, his father sides with the boys who did it, not with his son. With the boys who put his son in hospital. That child is Elon Musk. And in May 2026, 40 years after that staircase, a 900-page legal document filed with the US Securities and Exchange Commission revealed that the memory of that staircase is still, right now, today, shaping the lives of billions of people on Earth, including yours. We do not want humans to have the same fate as the dinosaurs. That sentence is in Elon Musk's IPO filing. It is legally binding. And understanding why a boy who was thrown down a flight of stairs in 1983 would write those words in a government document in 2026 is the story of the most consequential empire ever built by a single human being.
On the vehicle.
When you had that third failure in a row, did you think, I need to pack this in?
Never.
Why not?
I don't ever give up. I mean, I'd have to be dead or completely incapacitated.
The SpaceX IPO filing says Musk's bonus is tied to putting 1 million people on Mars. He also received a record $6.3 billion in government money in the year he was cutting everyone else's. And his car company is facing $14.5 billion in lawsuits. Those three facts are not coincidences. They are connected. All of them trace back to a school in Pretoria in 1983. Understanding that connection is worth more than any financial headline you will read this week. That is this series. Right now, in 2026, something is happening to your money. There is a financial platform inside a social media app offering 6% interest on your savings, owned by a man who fired 80% of the staff the day he bought it. There is a rocket company filing for the largest IPO in history, whose legal document says its purpose is to prevent humanity from having the same fate as the dinosaurs. There is a car company facing $14.5 billion in lawsuits from customers who paid thousands for a technology that a California court found was never going to arrive on the timeline promised. And there is a brain chip already inside 21 living human patients, designed not primarily to treat disease, but to prevent humanity from becoming irrelevant when artificial intelligence becomes smarter than we are. One man owns all four of these things. One man's decisions affect every single one of them, every single day. And the reason those decisions look the way they do, the reason the IPO says what it says, the reason Tesla made the promises it made, the reason X money exists, the reason a chip went into a paralyzed man's brain, all of it traces back to a school corridor in Pretoria in the early 1980s. Elon Musk was born on June 28, 1971, in Pretoria. He was the eldest child of Elon Musk, an engineer and property developer, and May Musk, a Canadian-born model. The South Africa of Musk's childhood was apartheid South Africa, white minority privilege. The Musk family was upper middle class within that system, not extraordinarily wealthy, but significantly more comfortable than the mythology suggests. This context matters, because the story Musk tells about his origins, the self-made man who started with nothing, is not fully accurate. And the story his critics tell, the silver spoon inheritor, is not accurate either. The honest picture is more interesting than both. He grew up comfortable. He did not inherit a fortune. He left South Africa at 17 with approximately $2,000 and a psychology forged by a father who taught him repeatedly that institutional protection was unreliable, that the people who were supposed to have your back would not, that the only safety was total, absolute, uncompromising self-reliance. That psychology is not a flaw in the Musk story. It is the engine of it. Every company he built, every governance decision he made, every structure he designed to ensure that no board could ever remove him, all of it runs on the fuel generated by a boy who came home from hospital to find his father on the wrong side. The Emerald Mine story has been told two ways on the internet. Both versions are wrong. Here is what Snopes actually found. Elon Musk did own a partial stake in a Zambian emerald mine in the 1980s. The mine had some profitable years. Then it went bust. There is no documented evidence that money from that mine was transferred to Elon to fund his companies. In May 2023, Musk wrote on X, "I have not inherited anything ever from anyone. My father gave me no support after high school." Errol's response in a 2024 podcast. Elon knows all about the emeralds. He just wants to tell Americans he had a hard time. Both statements can be true simultaneously. The mine existed. It did not fund Elon's companies. And Musk's desire to present himself as having started from nothing has led him to describe his origins in ways that are not fully accurate. He started with more than he admits, less than his critics claim, and built everything through intelligence, obsessive work, and the specific psychological wound we have just described. The summer of 2000, Musk flies to Australia for his honeymoon. While he is 35,000 feet over the Pacific, his board votes to remove him as CEO and replace him with Peter Thiel. He lands. He gets the call. He has been fired from his own company. From a beach chair in the Southern Hemisphere. eBay acquires PayPal in 2002. Musk receives $165 million. He is richer. And he has learned the most important lesson of his career. The board of a company is the most dangerous room in the world. He never made that mistake again. Tesla board challenged his $56 billion pay package. He moved the company from Delaware to Texas and held another vote. He won. He owns 85% of SpaceX's voting rights. He fired Twitter's entire board on day one of ownership. The honeymoon coup was the most expensive business school lesson in Silicon Valley history. Musk paid for it with the CEO title of his own company. He never forgot. And the structure he built because of that phone call is the reason the SpaceX IPO carries zero key person life insurance on him. Because no board and no investor group can remove him regardless. He designed it that way. Here is the part of the Musk story that most channels either ignore or sensationalize. We are going to do neither. The New York Times reported in May 2025 that Musk was using ketamine during the 2024 presidential campaign, reportedly near daily, with a box of approximately 20 pills. He was also reported to be using ecstasy and psychedelic mushrooms. Musk denied the most serious elements. When asked directly at a White House press event, he said, "Let's move on." He did not deny. He did not confirm. He moved on. Musk has 14 known children with 4 women. His former partner Grimes publicly accused him of preventing her seeing their child for months. She described going bankrupt fighting for her children. These are statements from named individuals in court proceedings. The Washington Post analysis, published February 2025, found that Musk's companies received at least $38 billion in government money since 2003, including a record $6.3 billion in 2024, the year he was leading the effort to cut government spending for everyone else. These are documented facts, not opinions. The record. The psychology of that staircase in Pretoria, the conviction that institutions fail you, that the only safety is total control, has a direct, measurable financial consequence for millions of people who have never heard of Pretoria. If you own a Tesla with full self-driving, you are potentially a plaintiff in a $14.5 billion class action that exists partly because the governance structure Musk designed after the PayPal honeymoon meant no board could tell him his self-driving promises were overstated. If you own Tesla stock, the $2 billion invested in XAI, a company Musk admitted was not built right just 6 weeks after the investment, went to a company he privately controls. If you are a taxpayer, the $38 billion in government contracts went to companies structured so that no oversight body can override his decisions. And if you are considering investing in the SpaceX IPO, the company has disclosed that it carries 0 key person life insurance on the man it calls the driving force behind our growth, innovation, and operational success. One person, no insurance, no mechanism to remove him. The staircase in 1983 is in the governance documents of 2026. In 2002, this man took $100 million he could have retired on and tried to do something every aerospace professional told him was impossible. 3 of his first 4 rockets exploded. The 4th went up. The company it saved is now heading to NASDAQ in June 2026 to raise $75 billion. And the IPO document contains something no CEO has ever put in a legal filing before. What it says, and what it reveals about every company that follows in this series, that is episode 2, coming up next.
You know, there are American heroes who don't like this idea. Neil Armstrong, Gene Cernan have both testified against commercial spaceflight and the way that you're developing it, and I wonder what you think of that.
I was very sad to see that because those guys are, those guys are heroes of mine, so it's really tough. I wish they would come and visit and see the hardware that we're doing here.